What's up, guys? So a couple videos ago, we pulled everything out of our HP Pavilion small form factor and put it inside of this NR200 from Cooler Master. And the NR200 is an awesome case to build in. And when we were putting everything together, we did run into a couple of issues, and the main one really is the GPU. So because our motherboard from the HP is not actually mini ITX, the form factor is just slightly different. That meant that our GPU backplate did not line up with the actual mounting backplate on the back of the case. And because of this, we actually went ahead and removed the entire GPU backplate from the back of the card, which really meant that the GPU was only being supported by the PCIe slot on the card itself. Now, in order to fix that, the only thing I could really do was decide to mount our GPU vertically. So the NR200 is super versatile and does give us the capability of mounting our GTX 1660 Super vertically inside of this case, and we already have the NR200 set up. So as you can see, I removed the two metal inserts from the back of the NR200 up here and right here, the bigger one for the GPU backplate, and then installed our little mount here, just two screws. This comes with the NR200 as well. So now the only piece we really have left is to install our riser cable and get the 1660 Super installed. So let's go ahead and open up the NR200 and I'll show you guys the process, the super simple process of how to install a vertical GPU inside of your NR200. So because we are installing the GPU vertically, we of course had to remove the rear 92mm fan. No real problem there. I did also go ahead and install a 120 as well up at the top above our power supply. So if you missed the first video, definitely go back and watch that. You'll get to see exactly how to install the motherboard, how to 3D print and install a full-size ATX power supply inside of the NR200. We got our two 120s at the top. You could also potentially put some 120s at the bottom of this case as well. But in order to install the vertical GPU, here I have a PCIe riser cable from Antec. So all I'm gonna do is install this into our PCIe slot. Apply even pressure until it clicks in. So you got that one in there. So now all we have to do, super simple, is install our GPU into the riser cable. Again, very simple step. So there we go. It will click in and lock into place. So now what I'm going to do is just pass over our PCIe power connector. So we'll get this installed before we actually mount the card. We got the power connector in there now. So now there is going to be a slight bend to the riser cable. That should be fine. And we can just slot the back plate from the GPU into the grooves. And that is how the card will sit. Now all we have to do is install our two screws. And there we go. So we have our graphics card vertically mounted now inside of our NR200. And this should definitely actually improve thermals as well. With the card being closer to the exhaust fans, all the exhaust air should just get exhausted out the top of the case rather than sort of pulling at the bottom and then heating up the entire case as a whole. And although we don't have the PCIe riser cable actually connected to anything, it's sort of just sitting in air, the backplate of the GPU is definitely more secure than just having everything rest on the PCIe connector itself. So this is definitely a more secure solution than what we were doing previously, and definitely actually suits the case very, very nicely, and should allow us to actually now either put a hard drive at the bottom of this case or even some fans. All we can do is just bend this riser cable up a little bit, but overall, not too much tension on the riser cable. This is probably the best situation we could have. So there we have it, a super simple process to get any GPU vertically mounted inside of your Cooler Master NR200. We have plenty of room between the graphics card and our ATX power supply. So if you had an SFX power supply or even a longer graphics card, you could probably fit a dual fan card in here vertically mounted with an ATX power supply as well. It honestly makes the case look a lot cleaner The side panel, as you guys know, is all mesh, so we're going to pull in plenty of air to cool our graphics card down. We will have to see how the thermals affect our CPU temps, but I don't see there being any issue with our two top exhaust fans. The power supply will even draw some hot air away from the GPU and up and out the top of the case. So I don't see any problems there as well. And if you guys want to see some more upgrades to this PC, definitely stay tuned to the next video. We will be swapping out the CPU in this guy. So currently we have an i5-7400 in here, but we are going to upgrade that to an i7. You guys are going to have to stay tuned to exactly how I got my hands on that CPU. So there's really only one good way to get your hands on an older generation Intel i7 if you are looking to upgrade an older PC. That won't cost you a fortune. I mean, an i7-7700 for this PC would run around $200 to $250 on eBay. They are extremely hard to come by at a reasonable price on the secondary market. So stay tuned to that video because we will be upgrading the CPU. Should be getting way more performance out of this PC as a whole with an i7 and a 1660 Super. So definitely stay tuned to that. So that means if you aren't subscribed to the channel, definitely get subscribed and turn on post notifications so you can stay up to date on when I post that video. If you guys enjoyed this little quick tutorial on how to get your GPU vertically mounted inside your Cooler Master NR200, definitely give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about the process of vertically mounting the GPU or installing a full-size ATX power supply in an NR200, anything like that, definitely leave those in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.